Michael, I know that as you were approaching the wins record, you were kind of downplaying it. There's been anyone that's kind of reached out to you in the last couple of days that surprised you, or just kind of how gratifying it's been since getting that win and breaking the record, kind of getting the appreciation from people, from your players in that locker room afterward?
Yeah, I mean it was a great moment, but you quickly turn the page because you have a job to do. We have a job to do, and more important for me that night, Bennett, as I told Vic, was us getting that win. After losing at home to Dallas, go on the road in a tough back-to-back, and play as well as we did. But obviously, to break Doug Moe's record means a lot for me, for my family, and I've said it many times. That's a byproduct of having a tremendous coaching staff, outstanding players, and the support of a front office and ownership group for 10 years. So I never take that belief, that continued belief, lightly, because I know how this profession can be.
Few of us here have been here with you the whole time since that moment when you first arrived. If I told you that you were going to break Doug's record, what would your response have been?
Damn right. When I first got here, growing up the son of a coach, that job security is not something that is often, kind of doesn't go with our job profession. And that's why my father tried to talk me out of becoming a coach. But I remember early on, first year, and every night you look up in the rafters and you see all the great names, and you see 432 staring at you. And there's a little part of me always, a competitive side of me, that's I'm going to break that record. I'm going to break that record. But it's not just me. It's again 10 years in, to be the fourth longest tenured coach in the NBA. For my daughters to move here in third grade and fifth grade and to go all the way through high school. That's incredible. I mean, and that's why this place has become home. And, I couldn't ask for a better position with better people and a better city. And we truly love it here.
Yeah. Coach, you guys had an iconic game in New York late in the season last year. I know you're close with Tibbs. What makes them so tough? And now they've added Dallas to this. What have you seen on the field from these guys?
Well, I hope for all the Tom Thibodeau haters out there who say he doesn't coach offense, just to really appreciate their team, because offensively they're elite. I mean, I think in almost every offensive category they're top five. Field goal, 3-point, free throw, offensive efficiency. This team has a lot of weapons. They're very efficient in everything they do. Obviously, that starts with Jalen Brunson, one of the best point guards in the league. And then, we know Karl Anthony Towns very well from all the battles that we've had with him in Minnesota. And he's one of the tougher covers in the NBA. I mean, the guy had 50 points in an all-star game. He's won the three-point contest. And he can score anywhere on the court. And then you surround them with guys like OG Anunoby, who is, tough, physical, shoots it, cuts, finishes, and is a great defender. Josh Hart, a glue guy. And Bridges, who obviously was a big acquisition for them this offseason. So very good team, very well coached. They embarrassed us in the Garden last year, from the get-go. That was an ass-kicking from Jump Street. And we'll have to be ready to go. And I challenged our players this morning. We're 5-3 at home. We had coming off of a playoff series where we lost 3 home games to Minnesota. We have to get back to defending our home court at a much higher level than we have. And hopefully we can do that tonight.
We're still in small sample size territory, but some of the numbers are interesting. Jamal has a positive net rating without Nikola on the floor overall, and Dario has some good moments without Russ, and Russ has some good moments without Dario. Is a lot of this about trying to figure out how to play together? Is that some of the challenge that you guys have faced in those non-Jokic minutes this year?
Yeah, because you're trying to incorporate some new players. To your point, what are we? I don't know, 15 games in right now, I believe. So it's still a work in progress at times. You mentioned Dario, new play. You mentioned Russ, new player. And that's always been the challenge. How do you survive when Nikola goes to the bench? And we're continuing to, like, every night, because of injuries or something that happens in the game and a guy's got to go to the back to get looked at. We're just throwing out different lineups and kind of seeing what works some nights. And that's been kind of the fun part of early in the season, is giving guys like Trey and Hunter go out there and play. Let's see what you're capable of, and not just in garbage time, but like in the middle of a game when the game is hanging in the balance. But yeah, it's something that we're continuing to work on.
On the injury front, how's Eric progressing right now?
I talked to him for a while today. This has definitely been a tough injury. And I think mentally it's been challenging for him. The injury is the injury. Trying to come back from a soft tissue injury is always hard. But I think mentally, when you're playing at such a high level, which Aaron was, and then all of a sudden you can't play for a couple of weeks, that can really wear on you. But he was seeming in really good spirits today. Definitely progressing. No timetable yet, and we just have to be really smart because those are the types of injuries. If you try to come back too soon, now you could be out for a month, month and a half. So we'll be really smart.
That's if you. What's you felt?
Name, please.
Harrison Wayne.
Oh, all right. Good to see you, Harrison.
The kind of spirit that Russell Westbrook has, that the voice he has on the court, talking to his teammates, talking to the other team. How positive has that been? So how much have you guys felt that and where did it impact you?
Well, yeah, he's going to talk to anybody that'll listen, whether it's the opposing crowd, the refs, his teammates, me. And I think it's been a huge impact, to be honest. His leadership, the passion that he brings every day, the edge that he brings every day. At halftime of our game against Dallas, where I felt that was our worst half of the year, I made a point to our players. I said, Russell Westbrook leads us in personal fouls. He's a bench player that plays, 20 minutes a night? He leads us in flagrant fouls. That first quarter of that game, we had no personal fouls. We're out there just playing like, patty cake on the playground. So I love the fact that you have a guy in Russell Westbrook, a 17-year vet, that doesn't like to win, that hates to lose. And there's a huge difference, as we all know.
Last one, right? Michael Porter's doubled his assists per game this year, like just from over his career averages. Where are you seeing that manifest most in just how he's reading the floor and how guys are now trusting him to make those decisions?
Well, and Michael's trusting those around him. Yeah, to your point, career high in assists per game. And what when you look at Michael's progression, and he gets better every year, is that he continues to push himself to be the best he can be. It was buy-in on the defensive end. I remember, if you go back to the bubble, we played Utah, and they put him in every action. So you want to be that guy, or you want to show people that you can guard. And offensively, he's so used to having the ball in his hands. Can you space the floor? Can you play without it? We're a ball movement, player movement team. And, when you watch him now, but especially him and Nikola, we always talk about Jamal and Nikola and their two-man game. But if you really watch Michael Porter Jr. and Nikola and the evolution of that two-man game, it's been really fun to watch because you have a 6'10" target who's moving without the ball, who's not forcing it. He's giving the ball up. He's trusting in his teammates. And when you start playing like that, obviously now your offense, you're putting a lot of pressure on the opposing defense, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. Wall to wall.
What's up?
Go ahead.